So one of the first things I do on weekday mornings, sometimes before I've even gotten out of bed, is I check the Minecraft subreddit because it's my source of knowing if there's a new snapshot and I'm going to make a video. This morning, though, I'm greeted with a top post being this: RIP Mineplex official shutdown announced today. And it kind of caught me off guard. Also brought back like a flood of memories. But I knew that the Java server didn't get nearly the concurrent players that it used to many years ago. But I also thought, I think they have a Bedrock server component, and that's probably cruising along. Probably a lot of players there doing just fine. And I admittedly, I never checked like the Bedrock server list, so I didn't have anything to go off of there. I just kind of assumed. And then all of a sudden I see this post. And I'm sure some of you are watching right now thinking, Jardon, why are you even making a video? What does this have to do with you? And in recent years, not very much. However, what was a long time ago now, did used to be very involved with Mineplex. It was in 2014. I was their official YouTuber sponsored partner guy. So back in the day, and it's making me realize I've had this channel art in place for at least 9 years since I was working with Mineplex, because on this same art, I used to have a Mineplex logo over in the corner to promote the server. And if we go over and we search Mineplex on the channel, there is a lot of content. Everything with the little M in the bottom left and more. And I mean, it used to be where I would do Hunger Games and I would actually win a lot of Hunger Games back when I don't know if it was so much that I was good, more so that the entire ecosystem had not caught up to being incredibly serious about being good at PvP. But I'm still scrolling here. And yeah, a lot of Mineplex content. And it's crazy to think about because at that time, in 2014, it was, in terms of concurrent player count, the biggest Minecraft server. I think it was the first Minecraft server that ever broke like the 20,000 concurrent player mark. And it was cool to have kind of been a part of it while that was going on. To be absolutely clear, I wasn't like a founder of Mineplex. I was just brought on as like a promotional partner after it was around for about a year or so. And it didn't last for a super long time. It was probably about a year or so. I don't know if I've ever, recounted what happened with why it stopped, and there's no drama involved at all. It was just because that was around the time when the EULA stuff came out, and Mojang was implementing the you can't monetize Minecraft server thing, and there was all the backlash, and that's what caused Notch to be like, anybody want to buy Minecraft? And then Microsoft was like, yeah, we'd like to buy Minecraft. And then Microsoft bought it, and so there was all this like uncertainty around that time, and they were just basically like, we don't know how this is gonna pan out, so we kind of gotta scale back, and we can't keep paying to have you on as a partner. And it was like, it's a pretty understandable situation, and that's kind of just how it played out. And I still played on the server every now and again, even after the partnership ended, but not really at all in recent years. I also think around that time, Parker, who started on YouTube as Mineplex Official, I feel like people going to Parker's channel are probably like, why is his username Mineplex Official? I'm very confused, but that's how he started. He was a friend of one of the founders of Mineplex, and they started the Mineplex YouTube channel where he was, posting games. And yeah, so there we go. How to play on Mineplex is his most viewed video. But it's cool because he then he graduated into just, doing his own YouTube stuff. But I think, again, it was doing pretty well because he's a very good personality. And they were like, we're probably good with just, this as our in-house media. You also, maybe Parker as Crafty now as well. Man, this is getting into lore of YouTube channels. But man, Crafty pops off, huh? But anyway, like I said, I haven't had any communication with anyone internal at Mineplex in many, many years. It probably was 2015 was the last time. But just speculating from an outsider's point of view, it really does seem like that whole EULA situation just really like killed the momentum. And I don't know if the development of the server was ever the same after that, because I think like they had to recalibrate, okay, how much can we put into development here not really knowing what we'll be able to do in terms of bringing in revenue with these uncertainties, with policy changes. And it just, from there, it couldn't reclaim what it was doing before. I can totally relate, though, because I know what it's like to feel that the wind has just been completely taken out of your sails. In fact, it had already happened before any of the Mineplex stuff had played out. I always think that my momentum-killing event was when the Minecraft-style music video was taken down, and that was in 2012. But not from like a YouTube algorithm perspective, more from just a psychological perspective that, something you have put so much effort into and that a lot of people are interested in and watching suddenly is just gone. And it just, you kind of get inside your own head. You're like, oh, do I even keep doing this anymore? Do I do music videos any longer? Do we develop the server the same way? And so for me, it was like there probably would have been more music videos more consistently had that not happened back then. And who knows if the whole EULA event hadn't happened with Minecraft servers, what Mineplex would have gone into in the future. But it does make Hypixel all that much more impressive because of the time that Mineplex was number one, Hypixel was a very close neck and neck number two, and now Hypixel midday on a weekday is still near 30,000 concurrents, and I think they've broken 100,000 before, which is just absolutely crazy. So obviously they were able to adapt and keep going. So it was possible to do. And it's just, it feels sad to see 0 out of 1 on Mineplex with it being shut down. But look, Minecraft server development is not an easy task. Like, it's hard enough to make the server in the first place, but it's even harder to maintain and sustain the server after it's live, because in the very beginning, it's like, oh, it's a shiny new thing, and people are willing to jump on and give it a try. But after that wears off, keeping people around for a long period of time is incredibly difficult to do. Look, Fallen Kingdom cannot connect to server. Had a really strong launch in the beginning, but it's that keeping people interested and engaged with new updates that's super difficult. And so for Mineplex to have been able to keep it up for as long as they did is a very impressive thing. And therefore with Hypixel, even more resoundingly impressive. And also, Minecraft as a video game as a whole to be bigger than it was 10 years ago is crazy, and basically it's a phenomenon. It's kind of unseen in gaming other than a handful of others like CSGO and whatnot. But Lord knows I've tried my hand at server development quite a few times, and it's not easy. And it's very expensive to maintain once the server is up. So maybe there were some folks who were like, oh, what the heck? Mineplex, you still had some people playing on the server. Why don't you keep it up for them? Well, the fact of the matter is that in order to keep up their entire server infrastructure and to maintain developers to support it, there needs to be a certain amount of revenue coming in. Otherwise, it's just not sustainable. So that's why a server like Mineplex would shut down before the player count actually completely zeroes out. And how do I know it's pricey? Well, look no further than Fallen Kingdom. But I'm interested, and there's no way to know the answer for sure. It's all just speculation. But how did the player bases evolve on Minecraft servers like Mineplex, the Hive, and Hypixel, which were kind of like the big three in 2014 when I was working with Mineplex? But it's like, did the Mineplex user base just grow up and stop playing Minecraft as a whole? Did they migrate over to other servers like Hypixel? Or is Hypixel's player base now a newer Minecraft player base that wasn't even playing on Minecraft servers in 2014? Does the player base simply cycle, and the new people who have come in to replace the outgoing players, they've gravitated towards Hypixel? Or maybe it's just Minecraft servers with a bunch of different mini games on them aren't really the meta anymore. It's more individual servers that have a very specific type of game mode that pop up, get players, then they kind of contract over time, and then a new thing pops up and people just kind of migrate here and there. Or people just playing more single player now. More of the player base, maybe it's migrated over to Bedrock. Obviously, more players do play on Bedrock because Bedrock is every device and Java is just on PC. So I don't know for sure how that has evolved over time and how players have migrated and what that behavior is. But it's interesting to think about. I'd be inclined to think that a lot of Hypixel's current large player base actually wasn't necessarily even playing Minecraft back in 2014, and that maybe it really was just people are kind of outgrowing and leaving and they're on to other things, and it just there weren't enough new players coming into a server like Mineplex in order to continue to sustain it. They ended up going to other servers instead. Obviously, the server reached a lot of people. It's trending on Twitter right now. 6,500 retweets, 4.1 million views on this one, and I see a lot of familiar faces tweeting about it. I'm curious if any of the people may have found the server in the first place from the videos that I made that many years ago. So it's a bummer, but that is the life cycle of Minecraft servers and many other things, but I just thought I'd touch on it since I was very involved with them back in 2014. And yeah, the EULA stuff really shook things up quite a bit. I don't know for sure, but again, just speculating, I think that sort of started the whole trend for so many years. So farewell, Mineplex. It was good being involved with the server back when I was, and hopefully all the developers, everyone who is still involved with it to this day, is able to find new projects to be involved with and go on to awesome stuff. So that's it. Have a good one.